What is the very best way to take the overwhelm, the frustration, and the heartache out of dating while leaving in the best guys who are looking at you going, I like you. Why don't we do commitment? I don't want you seeing anyone else. Can you be my partner? How do you make sure you trigger that attraction while at the same time making it relaxing and fun for you? In this video, we are chatting about male psychology and exactly how to do that. And we're going to talk about 6 reasons why men find you most attractive, especially in dating, when you don't try hard. Welcome to the video. If you've been here before on the channel, it's great to have you back. If you're new, welcome. It's my pleasure to have you. Let's dive straight in today. But before we do, I want to say one thing about what not trying hard actually means. Because I get some clients who come to me and they say, hey, Mark, I've been doing that thing. I've been not trying hard. I say, okay, what have you been doing? They say, well, I haven't left the house in 6 months and I haven't met a man in 2 years. I'm not trying hard. Am I doing it right? Not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is getting out there, is meeting people, is taking action, and then letting fate decide, and then not trying hard. So let's explain a little bit more about what this is and why it works so well with male psychology, why we as men go, oh, I like that. I like that a lot. The first big thing it ticks for us as men is it makes us feel safe. Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, isn't it a man's job to make me feel safe as a woman? In the physical realm, absolutely. But we're talking about the attachment realm here. And the attachment realm has 2 important needs for safety. First is connection. The second is autonomy. Human beings are fascinating creatures. We need 2 things to survive and they're the complete freaking opposite of each other. Connection, when we have it, fills our cup. The opposite would be abandonment, which can lead to death. Autonomy, when we have it, also fills our cup. When we do not have it, it leads to boundarylessness, loss of self, enmeshment, and also death. Imagine not being able to set boundaries with your bank account, your skin. If you can't have boundaries and autonomy, you can't survive. So we need connection, but we need autonomy at the same time. These 2 opposite needs require balance. And typically, human beings are interesting creatures in that women are, in general, you as a woman are in general more aware of your need for connection, even though you have just as much of a need for autonomy as anyone else. And men tend to be more sensitive. They're more aware of their need for autonomy and the threat that comes with loss of autonomy as opposed to the connection, which they need just as much. They're just not as aware of it. And this is one of the beautiful ways men and women balance each other out. Women tend to be the ones that foster connection and lean the seesaw that way, and men tend to be the ones that foster and support autonomy and lean the seesaw that way so that we can have a balanced life and survive. Now, where this comes into dating is when you as a woman go out to dating and you don't try hard, what you do is you make it safe to a man's autonomy. You're not going to dating saying, okay, I've got to try hard to get out of here. I've got to try hard to impress him and get him into a relationship. You're saying, you know what? He's here. I'm enjoying him, but I'm not trying hard to escape my reality. It's a little bit like if a stray cat or a stray dog wandered into your living room and you go to grab it. Well, what's it going to do? It's going to run back outside to its comfort zone. But if you instead sit there on the couch, you're watching your 90 Day Fiancé, Love Island, whatever is your vice, and then the cat or dog wanders in and you're just chill. Maybe you feed it, give it a good experience, it wanders out, wanders back, wanders out, wanders back, suddenly it doesn't want to leave. Why? Because it feels safe. When a man feels this kind of safety, it has the same effect on him. He goes, oh, okay, I'm not threatened here. I'll stick around for a bit. He gets good experience, it's not dangerous for him, he doesn't have a fear of his autonomy being restricted, and naturally he says, great, I want to be a bigger part of this. Now, of course, confronting a relationship with a woman will eventually restrict your autonomy in certain ways. However, these are ways that a man wants to be able to choose for himself. And when a woman tries too hard, a man starts to feel that he is not making the choice. She is taking his autonomy as opposed to him choosing to give it up, which is the way men actually want to honor connection and sacrifice some of their autonomy in a way that's safe for them, where they're making the choice. So you make a man feel safe when you don't try too hard, when you're not trying to escape dating. Really does help with our psychology and our safety. The second thing is we get to appreciate your natural beauty. Now, you guys know me. I'm a fan of, yes, bring your best self to the first date, but you don't have to overdo it in the looks department. You want to leave level 2, level 3, level 4. Leave yourself plenty of levels to go up from there. Let the guy earn the extra makeup. Let the guy earn the nicest dress. Do not feel the need to put it all on for the first date First of all, it's a shit ton of effort on your part and the date could go nowhere. So there's that. But second, it's showing up with the same level of respect, purpose, if that applies here, that you would show up to with a friend. Hey, I'm going to brunch with my friend. What do? I want to look a little nicer, spend 10 minutes making myself look all right, pick a nice dress or something, and then you go. That's the level of effort I'm talking about. The problem with putting in too much effort on a first date, especially in the looks department, is a couple of things. First of all, you say that, okay, this is one of the things that I need to do to impress you. And believe me, a man can tell. He can tell when you've overdone it versus when you're in a much more relaxed, I'm not trying to impress you look. And second, it says, unfortunately, the way it's perceived is I'm not confident in myself and what I bring, so I'm going to be confident in attracting you with this. Now, you might get the guy more physically attracted to you. You could definitely achieve that. And if he wants sex, he will probably hit you up for that. But it's not saying subconsciously, I believe what I am is enough. It's saying I've got to add these extra layers. And honestly, it's also going to attract the wrong types of men. Narcissists or men who don't want to get to know the you for you, they just kind of want someone who looks nice with them, they're going to love that. But if you overdo the look stuff with a good man, he's going to perceive you as less confident, and unfortunately, he's going to be less attracted and invested in you. And I think this is where a few women can sometimes go in the wrong direction, because you might get a guy who is very, very attractive and who is just lights you up. But if he's the type that wants arm candy and sex more than a real partner and a real woman, well, he's the type that might reward you if you really overwork and overdo it on the first date. But you have to ask yourself, is that really the type of guy you want to attract? And if you lose a guy like that because you put in a little bit less effort, isn't that a better long-term result? So getting to see your natural beauty and the subconscious statement that I am enough and you can earn more of the physical stuff. I'll bring my personality and that'll be enough for now. It's such a powerful thing to the right guy who wants to get to know you, and he is going to love it and he's going to want more of that in his life. This all segues well into number 3, which is we have more connection to you when you don't try hard. Now, I'm not talking here, again, there's a right and a wrong way to do this. I'm not talking about, well, I'm just going to sit back, do nothing, contribute nothing to the conversation on this date and say, Mark, I didn't try hard, winning. That's actually your fears, which is kicking in. What I'm talking about is being relaxed. And when you're relaxed, think about how you are with your best friend. Think about how you are in the shower or when you're at home just chilling on your own. You probably talk about quite a lot of stuff. I mean, maybe not when you're on your own, but when you're with your best friend, when you're with your family, when you're with people who your nervous system is totally relaxed. That's what I'm talking about here. A lot of times when we think of no effort, we think, well, I'll just lean back and do nothing. But actually, that's your fear of screwing it up. You're putting in more effort to keep yourself down for fear of rejection. When you don't put in effort, you will find yourself more relaxed. So naturally, you'll go where the conversation goes. You'll be in the flow. You'll be curious. You'll talk about yourself. You won't give two shits where it goes. And so what happens is the guy realizes this and he starts to feel more flow from you and he starts to get more connected to you. You're talking about your stuff. You're curious about his stuff. You're not covering up your flaws. The human is there. So ironically, when you don't try hard, a good guy has a lot more opportunity to connect with you because of how relaxed it means your nervous system is. With more connection, of course, the guy feels safe from his autonomy that you're respecting. Naturally, he's going to want to come back for more of that. More of that, he's getting more positive experiences, and bam, once he's connected to you, soon he doesn't want to lose you. Number 4, this is a huge one, is the guy realizes that it is his effort, not his attributes, that is going to win you. Now, it's a great feeling for a man to show up and have a woman attracted to you because of your attributes. You feel like you've earned that to a big degree, right? If a man's worked 10, 15 years to become the healthiest, wealthiest, best version of himself that he possibly can, and a woman's attracted to that, great. That feels good for a man. No man can lie about that. However, what feels even better is when we have to continue to a next level of growth to keep a woman. That's wife material there. Because especially once a man becomes attractive and successful, there's a lot of women he could get because they're so enamored by him, but they don't grow him because they don't challenge him anymore. They've already decided, he's a great, very attractive guy. I just hope he chooses me. And then if he does, it's okay for a while, but he soon realizes, wait a minute, I'm not growing with this woman. She's not making me a better version of myself. I'm not challenged by her. So he gets bored, loses interest, loses respect, and eventually lets her go. So when a man comes to dating and you're not trying too hard, he starts to go, wait a minute, wait a minute here. I have to do things to keep this one. I have to put in effort. Like, yes, she's interested in me from my paper attributes, but she seems to lose interest really quickly. If I don't like text her back, if I don't call her when I say I'm going to call her, or if I don't treat her the way she deserves, she seems to be just wandering away. Wait! You come back here, you. Okay, when a man realizes it is his effort that he's being qualified on, not just his paper traits, he starts to realize, well, this one needs upkeep. I am challenged here. It is hard for me to keep this one. I have to keep putting the effort in. And that effort is extremely psychologically relevant because human beings have a very interesting thing. We like to be lazy. We will be lazy wherever we can. That saves glucose as an evolutionary purpose to laziness. But there is a hack in our brain called the Ikea effect. And this actually segues extremely well into number 5. And the hack called the Ikea effect is the idea that when we put effort into something, as in we can't be lazy, so we put effort in, we value the thing more. So if you build a piece of furniture, where it came from is researchers found that if people built a piece of furniture, they valued it significantly more and wouldn't let it go, as opposed to if the piece of furniture was built for them. When we put effort into things, it tricks our brain into saying this thing must have value, because anything requiring effort is probably rare in the world, and things that are rare are usually valuable. Money is rare, so it's considered valuable. Love is rare, so it's considered valuable. Anything that's hard to get and hard to keep is considered valuable from our brain. So there's a reverse feedback loop, which basically says, I put effort into this, it must be valuable. We also don't like to think that our effort has been wasted. So we justify ourselves that even once we put effort in, it must have been for the right reasons. No one wants to admit they wasted their effort. Point of all this is that when you're training a man to put in effort, you're basically training him to value you. Because as he puts more effort in, it's like raising a child or an animal or a big book that you wrote or some work project. You become more invested in it because it's your heart and soul. You put in time, you want your ROI on the time. So the Ikea effect in a man's brain basically says that he's going to value you the more he has to put effort into you. Now, you have to be attractive to begin with, and we've already talked about several ways to do that. And then he goes, wait a minute, I need to keep up contact with her. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to treat her this way, and you're giving him feedback. All of this creates this positive cycle in his mind, and it's very attractive to a man because of the ease-effort paradox, aka the Ikea effect. And finally, number 6, there's nothing like a bit of FOMO for a man. There's nothing quite like, I talked about this in my book, there's nothing quite like, ooh, I could lose her to another man. Yep, the FOMO is strong. The I don't want to lose her grip is strong. And so when you don't put in a lot of effort, you're basically saying, my reality is pretty good. My needs are being met as they are. I'm happy where I am. And unconsciously, what that says to a man is, ooh, she's got options. I could lose this one pretty easily. She could head off to another man. She's got other priorities. Oh, she must be a good one because she has options. Again, remember that hack in our brain that says things that are rare must have value? Okay, well, if your time is kind of rare because you're not putting that much effort in, or if because, what's another example? If a man is not able to see you on certain nights because you're not moving your schedule around, making all this effort to see him, suddenly he's going, what is she putting time into then? What are these other priorities? What's going on here? The threat of another man, perceived or real, lights a fire under men's psychology. Without getting too much into the evolutionary side of it, there's a pretty obvious piece here where if a man has a woman who's into him and he rejects that woman, well, that's a breeding option. As callous as that sounds, that's a breeding option that is no longer available to him. So evolutionarily speaking, a man's brain gives him a lot of pain, a lot of negative feedback when he could be potentially losing a quote-unquote breeding option. You can take advantage of this loop in a man's brain by making sure that you value your exclusivity, that you don't commit to him until the time is right, and that you don't make any apologies for seeing different people until such time that you are sure he's the right option for you. That guy's going to work harder, he's going to value you more, and as a result, as I spoke about the Ikea effect, it's going to be a positive feedback loop where you are valued. Of course, that does mean he has the option to see other women as well, and you will notice that even in your brain, how that probably makes you want him a little bit more and value him a little bit more. At the end of the day, the threat of other men is one of the biggest needle movers for a man's motivation. So don't take away that threat prematurely. Don't try to make him feel better or protect his feelings. You don't need to do that, and you can be completely honest. A man that supports you in your dating journey is the kind of man you want anyway. So be proud of your own journey, and the right man's going to want to join you with it, with that little extra kick up the butt he needs to put in effort so that other guy doesn't win your heart. Those are the 6 reasons that men value a woman who doesn't try too hard. If you want to find a man in less than 30 minutes a day without any of the overwhelm, without any of the stress, without any of the hopelessness, book a call with me because I'll show you how to do it, and it's a really cool process I'm doing with clients at the moment. They're having a lot of success. So book a call. I'll tell you all about it. Otherwise, thanks for enjoying my content. Subscribe if you like it. Give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.